Morning, Tuesday the 3rd of March 2020, 7:38, and yeah, it's a very very English looking day. I don't know, it's a bit chilly, grey. Yeah, it's not my kind of weather, this. I just want to check up on the chicken, make sure that it's doing okay, and I need to kick everyone out of here so I can get in there. She's in the corner over there. I think she's just trying to keep warm because it's a bit chilly. That's her good eye, and there's a little bit of swelling. And then it's the bad eye, but it's actually a little bit open now. We've just cleaned it with water because it keeps getting shut with mucus.
It's not as crusty as it was yesterday.
No. She's not looking as perky, but it is a lot cooler today. So I'm just going to put her. Should we just put her back in the corner and?
Yeah.
Hey guys, yeah, we got some sad news. The chicken has passed away. It was really looking promising, but unfortunately, it was just too much. I think what's happened is the breathing difficulties got too much because there's a lot of phlegm, coming out the beak and everything now, and I think she probably just wasn't able to breathe. And it's a real shame because this morning, both of her eyes were open and she looked like she was getting so much better. And I guess it's one of those things when, we own a farm now, we're going to have lots of different animals, and unfortunately every single one of those animals is going to die at some point. And so, yeah, it's just one of those really sad things that we need to learn from. All right, Wednesday the 4th, 11:01, and yeah, we've got some more sick chickens. So we're going to go to Agri-Lodger and see if we can get some medicine for these guys now, because clearly it's not something, it's obviously contagious, and it's not something that they're going to pass on their own. So yeah, this one's got it, that one's got it, not so badly yet, but yeah, we're going to catch it before it gets too bad. So how did this all start? Basically, we bought these 3 birds from the Fundao market, and we didn't properly quarantine them. I thought the only problem that we were going to have was aggression issues and getting them to fit in with the rest of the flock. And I really didn't think about disease. And I thought, if anything, it would be something like mites, or, I didn't think it would be something this serious. So, very naive on my part. But, if you're going to buy more birds for your flock, quarantine them and have a good look and make sure that they're not showing any signs of illness before you put them in. In my defense, if it's defendable, I've been keeping tropical fish and pond fish since I was about 7 years old, so over 30 years, and I've bought fish from many different places and put them into tanks without quarantining them, and I've never really had much of an issue. Where fish start dying. I know that it does happen and that diseases can be transmitted like that, but I've never had an issue, and that's in about 30 years of fish keeping. So I thought that would translate into bird keeping, and sadly I was wrong, or maybe we were just unlucky, who knows. Okay, so we're just coming back from the vet, and we got some antibiotics, and the vet we went to was the Agri-Lodger Agri-Vet. So we're at Agri-Lodger in Castelo Branco, and that's their sort of agri at the back there. And amazing, so in England, if you go to a vet for something like this, you're in for probably 50 quid or something like that, and they would have to see the animal, etc. So we just walked in there, that's what it was, and he's mixed up some antibiotics. Probably took about 15 minutes or so of his time, and I was expecting to be hit for 20 euros, 30, 40 euros, 6 euros, only 6 euros. I mean, that's amazing. Hey Gina, 6 euros, and we've just been to a vet. I've never seen anything like that before. So we're back at our fence again, and we've bought some,
We've already caught one, my dear.
Yeah, so it's already caught one of Masak's toys in this fencing. Come on, get it. Get that rabbit. Get him.
Oh, no, that's me.
Get him. Yeah. Yeah, so we've bought this this stuff. It's kind of like chicken wire, and it's It's plasticized on the outside, and it's going to stop rabbits and the chickens from getting through. So we're just going to attach this to the bottom of this fence line. So Gina's just knitting the top of the wire along so that it sort of meets up. Unfortunately, the stuff is all soft and saggy, so it kind of it's not straight. Don't cut the red wire, cut the blue wire. So all the chickens are a little bit sick now. This black one in the center of the screen, he's making weird wheezing noises. But yeah, we've put antibiotics. The antibiotics are in their drinking water. You mix it up with 3 liters a day. But this was only done at like 2 o'clock today, so they haven't actually drunk the whole amount yet. So they haven't had a full dose. But we've got 4 days worth of antibiotics, which we're going to start them on. And yeah, hopefully it works, because they're all starting to get sick now. The fence is pretty much done. I've made very basic gates out of like pallets. Put some chicken wire in. There's no hinges yet, but I'm going to get some hinges and put them up there and just make a really basic, probably not more complicated than this, just a clip over it, you know. Rough and ready just for now. And all of this green chicken wire is now attached and dug into the ground, so we won't get any more rabbits coming in here. And then we're nearly ready to plant. We've just been for an evening walk to put out the wildlife cam, and yeah, it's a bit of a strange day today. 17 degrees, but very cloudy, and there was a bit of rain. Thursday the 5th, 11:27 in the morning, and we've got an egg incubator that's just arrived from Amazon, and like a thing that keeps chickens warm, or like the little chicks. So yeah, so let's open this incubator up. Supposedly this is going to rotate the eggs, keep them warm, keep them humid. So it has some kind of this little thing here that obviously rotates, that supposedly goes into this slot, and I'm guessing that will move the eggs around. And then there's some kind of dividers, and these will you put the eggs in between, and I'm guessing you've got to put some water in there for the humidity. And there's a little thermostat and some kind of computer controlled thing that's going to keep the eggs warm and keep them rotated and keep them humid. So we've got some eggs in there now, and now I guess is the part where I need to read the instructions. So the incubator is up and running now. I believe it just shows the temperature on there, and I've set it to 38 degrees, and we've got 9 eggies in there. And it's got a little fan and a little thing to turn the eggs, and yeah, you can see the temperature's going up, and let's see what happens. Hopefully we get a whole bunch of little chickens out of this. And then once the chickens hatch, you need to keep them warm, so we've got a little heating plate, and you put legs on it. That's the top of it. You put these legs on it, and you can adjust the height of the legs depending on how high the chickens are. So you've got the legs on, obviously you can height adjust them, and then the chickens go underneath there and keep warm. It's a nice little ceramic plate, so it's not going to burn them or anything like that, and the idea is that it keeps them warm and keeps them alive. As much as I dislike antibiotics and stuff like that, they really do work. I mean, both of these chickens were sneezing and coughing yesterday, and now they're totally fine. It is, you know, I can understand why farmers use antibiotics so much, you know, because they're cheap. I mean, it was €6 for the whole flock, and they're so effective. Without them, we would have lost these birds, you know, so yeah. So the antibiotics are in the water, and all the birds are drinking up this water at the moment, so that's good. morning, Friday the 6th of March 2020, and it's 9:17, and it's kind of well, it's still windy. It's cold as well. But yeah, the reason why I'm starting filming now is because I just saw a duck land in our pond. Oh, here he goes. He saw me and fled instantly. So the good news is that the chickens are no longer sneezing and coughing. I mean, you know, these antibiotics work really well, unfortunately, and that's why everyone uses them so much. And then you eat the eggs and you eat the meat, and then you start to build antibiotic resistance up. And yeah, that's why they're so popular. And they're incredibly cheap as well. I mean, €6 to go to the vet and get antibiotics for our entire flock. You know, you just can't beat that value. You know, I mean, we could have lost our entire flock, which cost quite a lot of money, and or just spent €6. And I guess that's why farmers do it. You know, every time any of the animals show any sign of sickness, they just pump them full of antibiotics. It makes sense, but it's something that I want to try and avoid. So today, quite a lot of stuff actually happened, believe it or not. I did a little bit of strimming with the strimmer all the way down to where Bob the campervan is, but only on the not on the sections where we're growing hay. Just down along the path and just around the campervan, which is in this field over here. And yeah, the wind's finally stopped. It's been really bad winds and stuff for a couple of days now. It was so bad that we had to take down our greenhouse, and it hasn't gone back up again. Look at this. This is our persimmon, and it's got leaves. It's our cat's favorite program on TV right now, The Fire. Saturday the 7th of March 2020, 8:40 in the morning, and yeah, the chickens are doing much better. These ones are a bit late to the party. So yeah, so the chickens are doing much better. We've just got their last dose of antibiotics today, which I'm going to give them in a bit. And yeah, it's really a beautiful day. So it's 10:12, and we're just on our way to Agri-Lodge to buy some shade cloth to go over here. It's going to be hitting 24 degrees in a couple of days, and in summer it's going to be a lot hotter. So we just want to put a little bit of shade cloth up here while there's no vine leaves. And also we want to get some agricultural textile to go make walkways through our vegetable patch, and then hopefully we can start planting today. So all the leaves are out and it's nice and green. Yeah, spring's definitely on the way. I mean, look at all these trees, were completely bare. Can you get that?
Poor old message, look.
Oh, catch. So we're finally going to set up our vegetable bed. We've just had lunch, and now we're going to measure out the walkways of the vegetable patch. And we got some agricultural textile, and we're going to use this to make walkways in between the vegetable patches. So we've cut the strips, and at the moment we don't have any pegs to tie these down with, so we're just using some roof tiles. So we're slowly getting there. 3:10. It's going to get some more roof tiles. So we've got our 7 walkways, and then the beds are in between. The beds are 1 meter width. Well, actually they're a bit bigger than a meter by the looks of it. Probably about 4 foot width. They were supposed to be a meter, but now these walkways aren't half a meter wide. So we were looking at what we actually have to plant, and I think potatoes are going to be our best bet to start with. We've got some of the seedlings which are on top of the water tank over there, but they're not really big enough to go into the ground yet.
It's quite a nice weapon to do this with.
So we've got some equally spaced out holes, I don't know, about 30 centimeters apart, and they're about 15 centimeters deep, and we're just going to plant the potatoes along there. So we've got like lettuces, and we have a couple of garlics, I don't know if you can see in the back there, and granadillo, but they haven't really sprouted yet. But all this stuff's a bit too small to be going inside the field, so and we can't put it in the greenhouse either because there's been quite strong winds. We're worried about the greenhouse blowing away, so it's a bit of a catch-22. But yeah, we got some cucumbers there, carrots, tomato plants. So we've got a whole bunch of stuff, but I don't think it's quite ready to be going inside rough ground like this. Gina's about to put the first potatoes in by the looks of it. Are the first potatoes going in, spleens? Cool, look at that. Now in Portugal you get these tiny little beers. You've got a choice between tiny beers, which are about 200 milliliters, or big beers, which are 1 liter. So it's not all bad. Okay, so I've done a row of potatoes going down the center here, and then 2 rows going down there, alternating like a zigzag. And what I was thinking is we just look online and we find out what the companion plants are, and we plant those along the outside, something nice and small, thinking maybe like garlic or something like that. So yeah, so for now we've got these 2 beds done. We've got another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 beds. Cool. So just have to fill in these holes and get the greenhouse cover on. So the greenhouse is well, the thinking is that we have the greenhouse next to the veggie patch, so we can transfer seeds and everything, seedlings, you know, straight in, and we're also close to the water. The problem is that this thing's very susceptible to wind, and we've had some really terrible wind. I believe the wind's only in winter time, so hopefully it's not going to be a problem in summer. But yeah, at the moment we keep having to put the greenhouse down, and being on the back of the house here, it's going to be difficult for us to see it. Before we had the greenhouse over there, and you could kind of see if it was taking strain, whereas here it's sort of hidden. So yeah, we're just going to have to keep our eye out, otherwise, you know, it's going to get blown away. So we're just playing around with different places to put this greenhouse because it really wasn't working where we had it before. So this over here, the problem is it's not a square, it kind of goes out like a triangle. So this is messing with my mind, really. At least it's in line sort of visually with the rows. I don't know, man. I'm looking at this now and it's just messing with my head. So we're back to where we started. We've tried moving the greenhouse all over the place and it just doesn't work. Or you have to like create a level base and stuff for it, you know. So we've just moved it back here for now. Gina's really not happy with it here because it's right in front of the house and you stare at it. So yeah, it's temporarily here. Oh man, I really wish this camera could show this off. This mountain just looks so magnificent right now. And obviously here the camera's looking straight at the sun and you just don't get the, you just can't see what it looks like, you know. This is a little shout out to Rob, who helped us fix our fireplace. As you can see, it's ticking over quite nicely. I've just turned it on, so it's not really kicking out the heat just yet, but Yana, you did a really great job sealing our fireplace for us, and much appreciated. Thanks, Rob. Morning, it's Sunday the 8th of March 2020, 10:35 in the morning, and I'm just keeping the ground moist here because we're going to be planting some more stuff hopefully tomorrow. We're going to go to Fundao market, and they should sell a whole bunch of stuff that we can put into the ground. What you doing, Gina?
Sawing a bit of wood.
Nice.
It's very skittish, so.
We've got a little lizard. He was living in the woodpile. Open your hand. I can't really see. So I'm not sure what type of species that is, but we're in central Portugal and it's like a little skink or lizard or something.
Go in there, my little skinky friend.
I completely missed it. There's loads of frogs jumping in as I walk down. Oh, look at that. Before I started filming, there was about 10 of them jumped in. I'm sure there'll be more now. Wow, look at all those froggies. And it just gets better and better as you walk down here. How is that? Oh, yeah, this is pretty here. Very, very pretty.